I Am That. Talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Chapter 41. Develop the witness attitude. Develop the witness attitude, and you will find your own experience that detachment brings control. The state of witnessing is full of power. There is nothing passive about it. Questioner. What is the daily and hourly state of mind of a realized man? How does he see, hear, eat, drink, wake and sleep, work and rest? What proof is there of his state as different from ours? Apart from the verbal testimony of the so-called realized people, is there no way of verifying their state objectively? Are there not some observable differences in their psychological and nervous responses, metabolism, brain waves, or psychosomnamic structure? Maharaj. You may find differences or you may not. All depends on your capacity for observation. The objective differences are, however, the least important. What matters is their outlook, their attitude, which is that of total detachment, aloofness, standing apart. Questioner. Does not a jnani feel sorrow when his child dies? Does he not suffer? Maharaj. He suffers with those who suffer. The event itself is of little importance, but he is full of compassion for the suffering being, whether alive or dead, in the body or out of it. After all, love and compassion are his very nature. He is one with all that lives, and love is that oneness in action. Questioner. People are very much afraid of death. Maharaj. The jnani is afraid of nothing, but he pities the man who is afraid. After all, to be born, to live, and to die is natural. To be afraid is not. To the event, of course, attention is given. Questioner. Imagine you are ill, high fever, aches, and shivers. The doctor tells you the condition is serious, that there are only a few days to live. What would be your first reaction? Maharaj. No reaction, as it is natural for the incense stick to burn out, so it is natural for the body to die. Really, it is a matter of very little importance. What matters is that I am neither the body nor the mind. I am. Questioner. Your family will be desperate, of course. What would you tell them? Maharaj. The usual things. Fear not. Life goes on. God will protect you. We shall be soon together again, and so on. But to me, the entire commotion is meaningless, for I am not the entity that imagines itself alive or dead. I am neither born nor can I die. I have nothing to remember or to forget. Questioner. What about the prayers for the dead? Maharaj. By all means, pray for the dead. It pleases them very much. They are flattered. The jnani does not need your prayers. He is himself the answer to your prayers. Questioner. How does the jnani fare after death? Maharaj. The jnani is dead already. Do you expect him to die again? Questioner. Surely the dissolution of the body is an important event even to a jnani. Maharaj. There are no important events for a jnani except when somebody reaches the highest goal. Only then does his heart rejoice. All else is of no concern. The entire universe is his body. All life is his life. As in a city of lights. When one bulb burns out, it does not affect the network. So the death of a body does not affect the whole. Questioner. The particular may not matter to the whole, but it does matter to the particular. The whole is an abstraction. The particular, the concrete, is real. Maharaj, that is what you say. To me, it may be the other way. The whole is real, but the part comes and goes. The particular is born and reborn, changing name and shape. The jnani is the changeless reality, which makes the changeful possible. But he cannot give you the conviction. It must come with your own experience. With me, all is one. All is equal. Questioner. Are sin and virtue one and the same? Maharaj. These are all man-made values. What are they to me? What ends in happiness is virtue. What ends in sorrow is sin. Both are states of mind. Mind is not a state of mind. Questioner. We are like blind people at a loss to understand what it means to see. Maharaj. You can put it as you like. Questioner. Is the practice of silence as a sadhana effective? Maharaj. Anything you do for the sake of enlightenment takes you nearer. Anything you do without remembering enlightenment puts you off. But why complicate? Just know that you are above and beyond all things and thoughts. What you want to be, you are it already. Just keep it in mind. Questioner. I hear you saying it, but I cannot believe. Maharaj. I was in the same position myself. I trusted my guru, and he proved to be right. Trust me if you can. Keep in mind what I tell you. Desire nothing, for you lack nothing. The very seeking prevents you from finding. Questioner. You seem to be so indifferent to everything. Maharaj. I'm not indifferent. I am impartial. I give no preference to the me and the mine. A basket of earth and a basket of jewels are both unwanted. Life and death are all the same to me. Questioner. Impartiality makes you indifferent. Maharaj. On the contrary, compassion and love are my very core. Void of all predilections, I am free to love. Buddha's questioner. Buddha said that the idea of enlightenment is extremely important. Most people go through their lives not even knowing that there is such a thing as enlightenment, let alone the striving for it. Once they have heard of it, a seed was sown which cannot die. Therefore, he would send his Bahikas to preach ceaselessly for 8 months every year. Maharaj. One can give food, clothes, shelter, knowledge, affection, but the highest gift is the gospel of enlightenment. My guru used to say, you are right. Enlightenment is the highest good. Once you have it, nobody can take it from you. Questioner. If you would talk like this in the West, people would take you for mad. Maharaj. Of course they would. To the ignorant, all that they cannot understand is madness. What of it? Let them be as they are. I am as I am for no merit of mine, and they are as they are for no fault of theirs. The Supreme Reality manifests itself in innumerable ways. Infinite in number are its names and shapes. All arise and all merge in the same ocean. The source of all is one. Looking for the causes and results is but the passing of the mind. What is lovable. Love is not a result. It is the very ground of being. Wherever you go, you will find being, consciousness, and love. Why make preferences? Questioner. When by natural causes thousands and millions of lives are extinguished, as happens in floods and earthquakes, I do not grieve. But when one man dies by the hand of another man, I grieve extremely. The inevitable has its own majesty, but killing is avoidable and therefore ugly and altogether horrible. Maharaj, all happens as it happens. Calamities, whether natural or man-made, happen, and there is no need to feel horrified. Questioner, how can anything be without cause? Maharaj, in every event the entire universe is reflected. The ultimate cause is untraceable. The very idea of causation is only a way of thinking and speaking. We cannot imagine uncaused emergence. This, however, does not prove the existence of causation. Questioner, nature is mindless, hence irresponsible, but man has a mind. Why is it so perverse? Maharaj, the causes of perversity are so natural, heredity, environment, and so on. You are too quick to condemn. Do not worry about others. Deal with your own mind first. When you realize that your mind too is a part of nature, the duality will cease. Questioner, there is some mystery in it which I cannot fathom. How can the mind be a part of nature? Maharaj, because nature is in the mind. Without the mind, where is nature? Questioner, if nature is in the mind and the mind is my own, I should be able to control nature, which is not really the case. Forces beyond my control determine my behavior. Maharaj, develop the witness attitude and you will find in your own experience that detachment brings control. The state of witnessing is full of power. There is nothing passive about it. I Am That talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Chapter 42. Reality cannot be expressed. Neither action, nor feeling, nor thought express reality. There is no such thing as an expression of reality. You are introducing a duality where there is none. Only reality is. There is nothing else. Questioner, I have noticed a new self emerging in me, independent of the old self. They somehow coexist. The old self goes on its habitual ways. The new lets the old be, but does not identify itself with it. Maharaj, what is the main difference between the old self and the new? Questioner, the old self wants everything defined and explained. It wants things to fit each other verbally. The new does not care for verbal explanations. It accepts things as they are and does not seek to relate them to things remembered. Maharaj, Are you fully and constantly aware of the difference between the habitual and the spiritual? What is the attitude of the new self to the old? Questioner. The new just looks at the old. It is neither friendly nor inimical. It just accepts the old self along with everything else. It does not deny its being, but does not accept its value and validity. Maharaj. The new is the total denial of the old. The permissive new is not really new, but it is but a new attitude of the old. The really new obliterates the old completely. The two cannot be together. Is there a process of self-denudation, a constant refusal to accept the old ideas and values, or is there just a mutual tolerance? What is their relation? Questioner. There is no particular relation. They coexist. Maharaj. When you talk of the old self and the new, who do you have in mind? As there is continuity in memory between the two, each remembering the other, how can you speak of two selves? Questioner. One is a slave to habits, the other is not. One conceptualizes, the other is free from all ideas. Maharaj. Why two selves? Between the bound and the free, there can be no relationship. The very fact of coexistence proves their basic unity. There is but one self. It is always now. What you call the other self, old or new, is but a modality, another aspect of the one self. The self is single. You are that self and you have ideas of what you have been or will be. But an idea is not the self. Right now, as you are sitting in front of me, which self are you? The old or the new? Questioner. The two are in conflict. Maharaj. How can there be conflict between what is and what is not? Conflict is the characteristic of the old. When the new emerges, the old is no longer. You cannot speak of the new and the conflict in the same breath. Even the effort of striving for the new self is of the old. Wherever there is conflict, effort, struggle, striving, longing for a change, the new is not. To what extent are you free from the habitual tendency to create and perpetuate conflicts? Questioner. I cannot say that I am now a different man, but I did discover new things about myself, states so unlike what I knew before that I feel justified in calling them new. Maharaj. The old self is your own self. The state which sprouts suddenly and without cause carries no stain of self. You may call it God. What is seedless and rootless, what does not sprout and grow, flower and fruit, what comes into being suddenly and in full glory, mysteriously and marvelously, you may call that God. It is entirely unexpected yet inevitable, infinitely familiar yet most surprising, beyond all hope yet absolutely certain, because it is without cause, it is without hindrance, it obeys one law only, the law of freedom. Anything that implies a continuity, a sequence, a passing from stage to stage cannot be real. There is no progress in reality. It is final, perfect, and unrelated. Questioner. How can I bring it about? Maharaj, you can do nothing to bring it about, but you can avoid creating obstacle. Watch your mind, how it comes into being, how it operates. As you watch your mind, you discover yourself as the watcher. When you stand motionless, only watching, you discover yourself as the light behind the watcher. The source of light is dark. The unknown is the source of knowledge. That source alone is. Go back to that source and abide there. It is not in the sky or in the all-pervading ether. God is all that is great and wonderful. I am nothing, have nothing, can do nothing, yet all comes out of me. The source is me. The root, the origin, is me. When reality explodes in you, you may call it experience of God, or rather, it is God experiencing you. God knows you when you know yourself. Reality is not the result of a process. It is an explosion. It is definitely beyond the mind. But all you can do is to know your mind well. Not that the mind will help you, but by knowing your mind, you may avoid your mind disabling you. You have to be very alert, or else your mind will play false with you. It is like watching a thief. Not that you expect anything from a thief, but you do not want to be robbed. In the same way, you give a lot of attention to the mind without expecting anything from it. Or take another example. We wake and we sleep. After a day's work, sleep comes. Now, do I go to sleep, or does inadvertence, characteristic of the sleeping state, come to me? In other words, we are awake because we are asleep. We do not wake up into a really waking state. In the waking state, the world emerges due to ignorance and takes one into a waking dream state. Both sleep and waking are misnomers. We are only dreaming. True walking and true sleeping, only the Jnani knows. We dream that we are awake. We dream that we are asleep. The three states are only varieties of the dream state. Treating everything as a dream liberates. As long as you give reality to dreams, you are their slave. By imagining that you are born as so and so, you become a slave to the so and so. The essence of slavery is to imagine yourself to be a process, to have past and future, to have history. In fact, we have no history. We are not a process. We do not develop or decay. See all as a dream and stay out of it. Questioner: what benefit do I derive from listening to you? Maharaj: I am calling you back to yourself. All I ask you to do is to look at yourself, towards yourself, into yourself. Questioner: to what purpose? Maharaj: you live, you feel, you think. By giving attention to your living, feeling, and thinking, you free yourself from them and go beyond them. Your personality dissolves, and only the witness remains. Then you go beyond the witness. Do not ask how it happens. Just search within yourself. Questioner: what makes the difference between the person and the witness? Maharaj: both are modes of consciousness. In one you desire and fear, and in the other you are unaffected by pleasure and pain, and are not ruffled by events. You let them come and go. Questioner: how does one get established in the higher state, the state of pure witnessing? Maharaj: consciousness does not shine by itself. It shines by a light beyond it. Having seen the dreamlike quality of consciousness, Look for the light in which it appears, which gives it being. There is the content of consciousness as well as the awareness of it. Questioner. I know, and I know that I know. Maharaj. Quite so, provided the second knowledge is unconditional and timeless. Forget the known, but remember that you are the knower. Don't be all the time immersed in your experiences. Remember that you are beyond the experiencer, ever born, ever unborn, and deathless. In remembering it, the quality of pure knowledge will emerge, the light of unconditional awareness. Questioner, at what point does one experience reality? Maharaj, experience is of change. It comes and goes. Reality is not an event. It cannot be experienced. It is not perceivable in the same way as an event is perceivable. If you wait for an event to take place for the coming of reality, you will wait forever, for reality neither comes nor goes. It is to be perceived, not expected. It is not to be prepared for and anticipated, but the very longing and search for reality is the movement, operation, and action of reality. All you want to do is grasp the central point that reality is not an event and does not happen, and that whatever happens, whatever comes and goes, is not reality. See events as events only, the transient as transient, experience as mere experience, and you have done all you can. Then you are vulnerable to reality, no longer armored against it as you were when you gave reality to events and experiences. But as soon as there is some like or dislike, you have drawn a screen. Questioner. Would you say that reality expresses itself in action rather than in knowledge? Or is it a feeling of sorts? Maharaj. Neither action nor feeling nor thought express reality. There is no such thing as an expression of reality. You are introducing a duality where there is none. Only reality is, there is nothing else. The three states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping are not me, and I am not in them. When I die, the world will say, "Oh, Maharaj is dead." But to me, these are words without content. They have no meaning. When the worship is done before the image of the Guru, all takes place as if he wakes and bathes and eats and rests, goes for a stroll and returns, blesses all and goes to sleep. All is attended to the minutest detail, and yet there is a sense of unreality about it all. So is the case with me. All happens as it needs, yet nothing happens. I do what seems to be necessary, but at the same time I know that nothing is necessary, that life itself is only make-believe. Questioner. Why then live at all? Why all this unnecessary coming and going, waking and sleeping, eating and digesting? Maharaj. Nothing is done by me. Everything just happens. I do not expect. I do not plan. I just watch events happening, knowing them to be unreal. Questioner. Were you always like this from the first moment of enlightenment? Maharaj. The three states rotate as usual. There is waking and sleeping and waking again, but they do not happen to me. They just happen. To me, nothing ever happens. There is something changeless, motionless, immovable, rock-like, unassailable, a solid mass of pure being, consciousness, bliss. I'm never out of it. Nothing can take me out of it. No torture, nor no calamity. Questioner. Yet you are conscious. Maharaj. Yes and no. There is peace, deep, immense, unshakable. Events are registered in memory, but are of no importance. I am hardly aware of them. Questioner. If I understand you correctly, this state did not come by cultivation. Maharaj. There was no coming. It was so always. There was discovery and it was sudden. Just as at birth you discover the world suddenly, as suddenly I discovered my real being. Questioner. Was it clouded over and your sadhana dissolved the mist? When your true state became clear to you, did it remain clear or did it get obscured again? Is your condition permanent or intermittent? Maharaj. Absolutely steady. Whatever I may do, it stays like a rock, motionless. Once you have awakened into reality, you stay in it. A child does not return to the womb. It is a simple state, smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. It is self-evident and yet beyond description. Questioner. Is there a way to it? Maharaj. Everything can become a way, provided you are interested. Just puzzling over my words and trying to grasp their full meaning is a sadhana quite sufficient for breaking down the wall. Nothing troubles me. I offer no resistance to trouble. Therefore, it does not stay with me. On your side, there's so much trouble. On mine, there is no trouble at all. Come to my side. You are trouble prone. I am immune. Anything may happen. What is needed is sincere interest. Earnestness does it. Questioner. Can I do it? Maharaj. Of course, you are quite capable of crossing over. Only be sincere.